Men, choosing to live a lifestyle of faith and obedience will bless you greatly. But if you choose to do the opposite, it will bring nothing but chaos, calamity, and unwanted suffering in your life. Have you ever faced a situation in which you knew that you were being called to do something very specific, such as change your job, move to another community, or make a daunting personal sacrifice? But instead of immediately stepping out in obedience, you waited to see what could possibly happen next. Abraham, the father of the Jewish race, once faced a situation in which delayed obedience must have seemed very tempting. God had given him a command that made little sense from a human perspective. God said to him, "Take your son, yes, your only son Isaac, whom you love so much, and go sacrifice him as a burnt offering." What was Abraham to do? We don't know what Abraham thought or prayed as he and Isaac made their way to the mountain called Moriah, where he was going to sacrifice his son, and we can only imagine what he felt. It was bad enough to face the loss of a child, but this was the son that God had promised and given him in such a miraculous way. God had commanded him to sacrifice the boy as if he were just a goat or a sheep. It must have seemed like a horrifying negation of everything that God had promised. Abraham didn't know that God's shocking instruction to sacrifice Isaac was a test of his willingness to obey all the Lord's commands and have faith even with those commands that appeared to make little sense. Abraham's obedience opened the door to all the blessings God had promised him. In choosing faith and obedience, even with fear and trembling, God not only gave Abraham a long, wonderful life with his son Isaac, but he took a huge step toward the high calling God had for his life, and God blessed him for it. The path to divine blessedness in your family, your career, and your future is found in your willingness to obey God's commands and walk by faith in Him, whether or not they make sense to you. What commands is God putting on your heart today? And how will you respond? Today, choose to live a life of faith and obedience and watch blessings come flowing into your life because of God's goodness. As men in life, we want to avoid making excuses for everything that happens. To learn the danger of making excuses and how to avoid its snaring trap, check out our next video.